Pleased to be joined by Belmont University head men's soccer coach Bryan Green as we discuss his connection with U.S. men's national team defender Geoff Cameron. And Bryan, reflecting back on your time with Geoff when he attended West Virginia University, you actually recruited him out of the Northeast. Take us back to those days when you first saw Geoff Cameron.
Well, actually saw Geoff Cameron in a very small tournament, not a very highly regarded one, and didn't even have him on my schedule. Was walking past his field. The game caught my eye. I sat down and watched it for a little bit, and him and another player on his team caught my eye. And the big thing about Geoff was he was 6'3" then, so he was a big kid, but he probably weighed $120, and just looked a little awkward, but had unbelievable feet. Very good balance for his size, and was a fantastic passer, and that caught my eye right away. Those three qualities, and began recruiting him at that point.
Talk about his role at West Virginia and maybe the evolution of his play post-college into the national team and now World Cup bound.
Yeah, well, when I first saw him, I thought he'll be a center back. He needs to grow into his body a little bit, but he'll be a center back. He can pass out of the back. But when he came to West Virginia, he was better in the attack than we thought, and he played midfield. He played some central midfield for us. He played some out wide for us. It was very versatile. He was a lot more athletic than I gave him credit for. I think it's kind of partially how he looked at a 6'3" gangly frame. He didn't look as athletic as he was. And I think that's kind of was part of his evolution in the MLS. He went to Houston. I don't really know what position they wanted to play him in when they drafted him, but eventually they made him their attacking mid. And if not for injuries, he probably would have stayed there. But injuries forced him to slide back to center back, and that's really where he got interest overseas in Europe. And when he got interest overseas in Europe, he started getting some interest from the national team staff.
Did he always have national team or EPL aspirations? Did he always strike you as this ultra-hungry, chip on his shoulder type of a player?
He had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. He was definitely always hungry. He was one of the guys that it was a very talented recruiting class. I think of the 7 guys we had come in, 5 went on to play pro. And he obviously one of them, and he went further than anyone else, and there's still 2 others playing pro, but he was the guy that trained extra all the time. He was in the weight room, he was out on the field, always doing extra to make himself better, and I think that's a common feature with everyone that makes it to that level. It's not the bare minimum they're always doing more. And he was a dreamer. I think when if he said something like that, they want to play pro, he said, okay, we'll keep working, and, we'll see what you get. And, did I think he'd play pro? Maybe, but I never thought he'd play in the EPL. That's, just a testament to him and his, how hard he's worked over, really his lifetime to get to where he's at right now.
Do you stay in touch? I'm sure you follow Geoff's career, both national team and professional, with a great deal of pride.
Yeah, I stay in touch with him. I saw him last summer when Stoke came to Philadelphia to play the Union, and I went down to the game and spoke with him after the game. And anytime he's in the country, I text back and forth with him.
And then lastly, as we close, Bryan, maybe your expectations for Team USA, a very difficult group, but do you think it's realistic to move on to the knockout round?
I think it's realistic. I don't think it's certainly not easy. It's one of the groups of death. I think there's a couple other good groups out there, but I think it's great that Geoff's playing center back. I'm surprised it took so long for him to get moved to that role. I think he's our best center back, and that was a weakness throughout qualifying. So finally he's playing there, which is great. And we beat Nigeria in a tune-up, and granted that's just a tune-up, but it's a good result, and we don't need to beat Germany and Portugal. We need to beat Ghana, and if we beat Ghana, then we can probably advance without beating either of the other 2. So I think it's very realistic. I don't think it's a done deal that it's Germany and Portugal, and certainly Ghana doesn't think so either. So yeah, I look forward to us playing beyond the group stage.